outside for wayvydon season 5, brother. Bro, I can't tell you how happy I am for this season of content, dog. Like, I don't even think I thought we were gonna make it this far, bro. Like, I just pull up a camera, I just start editing, I start putting stuff up, and like, it's still here. We're still going. We're still keeping on. I've been getting a lot of excellent feedback from the little teasers that I've been putting out on the YouTube channel. I've been showing some people some sneak peeks of what's gonna be coming up for season 5, and everybody's been saying that it's super new, feels like super refreshing, you feel me? Super reinvigorating, something that the internet really hasn't seen before. And on the back of some of that feedback, I kind of wanted to give you guys a reintroduction to what Wavy is, what wayvydon does, who I am, you know, and who the guys who you see on the channel very frequently are, and what the relationship is, right? Why should you care? Why should you tune in to see these guys a couple times a week, shooting the shit, making art, creating content, right? And that is a very good question, audience member, that I'm going to answer right now. I'm going to start answering that by giving you a little bit of an idea of who I am, how I ended, right? So, everybody loves a good origin story, right? 2020, I just graduated, fine arts degree. Don't know if you remember, but the world was a little bit uncertain back then, right? Still today, not too certain, but hey, back then, not even close. So, come out of college, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, ready to make a difference in the world, ready to put my skills to good use. And then the world ends. So, I started working at school as well as an after-school program, right? Because I am interested in art, I'm interested in the internet, I'm interested in engagement, I'm interested in how the youth interact with art and on the internet and the way that all of these things intersect, right? Tung 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 sahur meets Langston Hughes, you feel me? And I noticed, particularly in the virtual learning space, there were a lot of issues that were arising on top of old issues that had not been addressed. Because we all know the American public education system is top-notch quality education, if you get what I'm trying to say. So I said, okay, clearly this place is not the place that's going to answer my questions and they're going to solve the issues that I'm seeing springing up among the young people of 2020. Left there, but I stayed at the after-school program. While there, I met a couple of very, very inspiring, very, very intuitive, connected to their spirits, and very, very imaginative young men. And instantly we built a bond, right? One that I would describe as almost brotherly. But not even almost, really truly brotherly, you know? And while there, I stayed there for another 4 years after 2020, and they were able to, they being the after-school program, was able to meet the needs a little bit better. But there was still something missing, I felt, in the way that their pedagogy was delivered. And so, after applying my trade there long enough and seeing this stuff and seeing, after interacting and really getting close to these guys, that there was a lot of things that were just kind of being slipped into the cracks or being shoved under the rug that really needed to be outwardly and, you know, intentionally addressed. So I said, okay, I feel like I've developed the skills that I need to do this stuff and to try it on my own. So last year, I left the after-school program, decided to do it on my own, and tried to execute my vision. This vision of a world where young people can be educated in a practical way, where their everyday needs and everyday issues and everyday concerns can be met in a way that makes sense to them. Wavy is born. Wavy, if you didn't know, stands for We Are Your Vocal Youth. And we believe in giving young people the skills, the platform, and the resources that they need in order to develop and to project their voice, right? To empower young people to tell their own stories. One of the quotes that I love the most is the opposite of depression is not joy, but expression. And there's so many issues that I believe, especially facing young people today, that can be solved by teaching them how to properly express themselves, express their opinions, express their experiences, and leverage those stories in order to fight for a better future for themselves, their parents, their children, whoever, right? So how do we do that? We do that by recruiting people like the young men you see in the video, the guys who I met at that after-school program. You know, we come together once or twice a week, we shoot a video, we talk about issues that are prevalent among young people today. We learn new things, we do research, we learn new skills, all within the framework of art making. Art making is an extremely diverse field, right? You can paint, you can video edit, you can podcast, you can skateboard, you can make fashion. And here at Wayvy, we take all of those seemingly disparate media and we put them all into one umbrella. And we give these young people the means and the time and the structure and the community to make that stuff happen, right? I'm very much inspired by Italian neorealism. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Bicycle Thief. It's a very short movie. It's black and white. Highly recommend. And at that time, this was post-World War II era Italy. And the Italian filmmakers at the time obviously didn't have a lot of money because they were just coming out of World War II. And so what they did was they hired non-professional actors and producers in order to make iconic movies. And I follow that kind of framework in what I do with Wayvy and wayvydon by hiring non-professional young people who are interested in content creation, who are interested in getting their stories out there, who are interested in developing the skills necessary to do those things, and give them a platform in order to execute, right? So the content that we make is uplifting, it's invigorating, it's thought-provoking, and the way that we make it is through giving young people who would otherwise not have the means or the access to do these things, the means and the access to do these things, right? And why do we do it in this specific way? Well, I don't know if you've heard, you've been living under a rock for the past 5 years, but the social fabric of the West specifically is rapidly changing, right? AI, automation, all this stuff is really changing what the next 30, 40, 50 years are going to look like. And once that's set in, it's set in stone, in my opinion, for the next at least 100, 150 years. You look back at the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers during the Industrial Revolution in the 30s and stuff like that, and they were essentially able to format our education system and our working system for the next 100 years. The 9-to-5 job was invented by Henry Ford, you know? And now that we have the Zuckerbergs, the Elon Musks, the Sam Altmans, all these guys, they are going to invent another work schedule structure for us for the next 100 years. And it is my hope that through giving young people the means and the access to build their own platforms on social media, and even if not on social media, in real life, and to learn how to communicate, the skills of communication, the skills of community building, that they will be able to create unions in some shape or form and leverage against the people who are our technocratic oligarchs in 2025 and beyond, right? TLDR, we're giving young people the skills, the platform, and the resources they need to make their voices heard through the content that we make, which engages with young people and teaches young people. The way that we make that content also engages with young people and teaches young people by using the young people in our community, in our environment, giving them some structure, giving them some purpose, giving them some direction, in the hope that in the future, these same young people will become the leaders of tomorrow and will shape our future in a way that is amenable to the vast majority of people. That's what Wayvy is, that's what Wayvy does, and that is how we do it. So if you are in the Philadelphia area this summer, keep an eye out for us. We're gonna be doing a lot of pop-ups all over. There's gonna be photo booths, there's gonna be pop-up fashion shows, there's gonna be pop-up sidewalk studios and mobile museums and all that kind of beautiful stuff, because we are trying to get the people involved, we're trying to get the people engaged, and we're trying to get the people imagining, man. We cannot create a brighter future if we cannot imagine a brighter future, if we cannot even conceive that a brighter future is possible. which is why I believe it is so important to give young people the means, the access, and the tools they need to imagine a brighter future for everybody. So that's why we gotta stay wavy. You gotta stay cool, you gotta stay calm, you gotta stay collected. Because that is the only way we're gonna move forward. That is the only way we're gonna get out of this little sticky situation that we found ourselves in. So that is the theme for season 5. This is coming off the back of season 4, which was What's Wavy, which was when we really spent a lot of time, a lot of energy defining, honing in on what wavy is and what wavy does. And now you know. That's what wavy is. Wayvydon is the online distribution arm of wavy. So that's what really pushes the ideology, disseminates the information. And I hope that that made things a little bit more clear to you. Of course, you're going to be hearing from our community members, our wavy ones, the guys who participate with wavy on a weekly basis, what they've learned, how wavy has changed them, changed their lives, or the direction that they were headed in, you know? And I hope that that resonates with you. I hope that it inspires you to try to do something similar where you are, how you are, you know? You can just start with what you have, with what's in front of you. And sometimes I think I'm a little crazy. Sometimes I look a little crazy doing the things that I'm doing, and I understand that, and I get that, but I believe in it. I believe that it's necessary. I believe that it'll make a difference, you know, and I really, truly believe that, you know, we, and only we, have the power to make the world a more beautiful place. And if we do have the power to do that, we have a moral obligation to do so. So, please enjoy this season of Wayvydon. Please enjoy the upcoming episode of Wavy Wednesday. It's going to give y'all a little sneak peek right now. So stay tuned and stay wavy.
He just called me a monkey.
What are you gonna do about it?
Fuck him.
He said, fuck you. What are you gonna do about it? He said, fuck you. What you gotta say about that?
It sounds racist, but it's real.
I cannot lose. It is literally, physically impossible for me to lose.
I was like, you know what? I'm gonna hit rock bottom. And when I hit rock bottom of spirituality,
Right.
I feel like I'm gonna shoot straight back up.
Right.
And that's literally what happened. I went to what we would call hell.
Okay.
Everyone sees it as hell, but
Right.
it's called the empty.
The empty.
Today we're just gonna talk about addiction. We're gonna talk about our personal experiences with addiction.
That's Wavy, baby. We're back. Another segment of Wavy Wisdom, something new that we're trying.
What you gotta say about that?
This Chicago, nigga.
Cuff your chick. Maybach music.
That was fun though. I feel like a big
All right,
group.
some salt. Cut it off.